My name's Ben Cull, I'm 20, and when I was 17 I was diagnosed with cancer. I used to play football for Southampton Football Club. Playing from the age of like 6 when my mum dragged me to Little Down, and then I just played at my local Sunday League team, and then I had the choice of Southampton, Bournemouth and Portsmouth. And I chose Southampton because it was, well, one, my brother was already there, and two, it was the best academy out of the three. So I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. It's a rare type of bone cancer. Parents' first thoughts were, is he going to lose his leg? Is he going to live? They thought worst case scenario. I didn't think any of that. So I was playing in a friendly football match against Plymouth. I can remember it to this day. And I got like a dead leg. My knee swelled up and they thought I'd done some sort of ligament damage. I went and had an MRI scan. It just came back as like a massive sort of hematoma, like a blood ball in the back of my knee. They basically said, okay, that will go down on its own, it's fine. The pain went and I got back playing football. So I carried on playing for the rest of the season. And then it came to pre-season training and a physio noticed that I had a really big lump in the side of my right leg, just behind my knee, so it was poking out a little bit, so you could see it if you looked, but I didn't even notice it, to be fair. I'd like to think I was good enough to still be playing. I represented England when I was 14 in the under-16s, so I'd like to think that I'd be somewhere getting paid quite nicely to play football. Probably not at Southampton, but probably maybe a League One club, something like that. So I went to hospital and they tried to aspirate it. Nothing happened. So then eventually they were like, okay, so we're going to have to surgically take out this ball of blood because they thought it had solidified. And in all the sort of prep for that, they took a biopsy. 4 in the whole of the UK every year get it. So I was quite unfortunate. And then they came back and said it was that. I got a phone call from my mum when I was going to the cinema, and she was like, Ben, you need to come home. We need to go up to Watford in the morning to have a emergency appointment with the oncologist, which is the guy that deals with telling people that they're not very well. I never scored one, to be fair. I was a defender, so it was a goal against Norwich when I was 17. I played a different position for a change and scored, which is a surprise. It's called a Hickman line. But basically it went into my chest and over my collarbone and into one of my veins by my heart, and that's where all my chemo went in and through. So any time I went to have chemo, for basically a whole year I had to have this thing that dangled from my chest, so I couldn't have a shower properly, I couldn't go in water, I couldn't have a bath, and all my chemo went in from the drip, all into my chest and then all around my body. I found that throughout the whole of my treatment I had a lot of spare time, but I never did anything with it. And even now I've still got a lot of spare time and I haven't or didn't do an awful lot with it. So I've kind of thought it was a great way to express not only how I was feeling to other people and a lot of people that I know, and it was a great way for people to sort of understand what I was going through. My goals of the future are, now that my life has been put on a different course, I want to become a personal trainer and have my own gym in my back garden and have clients come to me from home.